This one puzzles me. You're watching House Sparks Mega Worldwide, and I think that shows taste and breeding on your part. Like, subscribe, support the show. If you're on Twitch, subscribe right now. Subscribe away. If you have Amazon Prime, it doesn't cost you a dime. If you're on YouTube, think about becoming a member. And if you really have the depth of commitment, become a Patreon supporter. Thank you guys so much for being, Patreon folks, especially the ones that have been with us the longest. Without you, this wouldn't even be possible at all. Patreon.com/HouseSparks. There, see, I did the pitch. I'm trying to get better at it. This one confuses me. Not just because I wouldn't call her Nazi Barbie. I think that's rude. I think she's more like Nazi Skipper. But if she, got old and addicted to Botox. But Laura Ingram puts this video out, and I don't... You guys know how much I love being told what to think, or what I think in general. Not even being, insist that I think a certain way, but that I already do. Laura Ingram has a video called "The Left Really Hates Cars," which reminds me of one of my favorite, let's see.
He hates these cans!
Sorry, it took me a second. But that's what this reminds me of. This is the geopolitical equivalent of he hates these cans. All right, so let's see why you and I hate cars. Probably, what do you think? Independence, freedom, the roar of an engine, something.
Laura Ingram, this is the Ingram Angle from Washington tonight.
Oh, great. So you're inside the DC Beltway, so we should only expect you to toe the line. Great. Another swamp creature with their own show.
Tonight, Bidenomics hits Biden fans.
Oh, dear God.
That's the focus of tonight's angle.
Okay, that's a hell of a title. It's a lot of work. So far, I don't know where you're going.
Well, they helped
Nice angle.
put Joe in office, and now liberals everywhere find that they, too, are not immune from the consequences of his bad policies. Now, we've already seen layoffs hitting the big tech sector, which was overwhelmingly pro-Biden in 2020.
So you can't buy favoritism? Next, you're going to tell me that China gave him a in the deal.
Employees at all the biggies like Apple and Alphabet, remember, they donated millions to Democrat campaigns. And of course, as we saw at Twitter, they helped in non-monetary ways as well. But
yeah, hand jobs mostly.
now they may be wondering what they got for all that money, because the real bill is coming due in the form of lower corporate earnings. Now, this is...
Oh, by the way, the reason why, layoffs are actually happening is because the Fed is raising rates, the highest they've been in years, and it's harder to borrow money and that kind of stuff. So they're making some cuts, and the Fed has moved from inflation being the marker that they're actually going to go for to wages and employment. That, quite frankly, they can't meet their financial goals around the Fed rate until wages and since they're not going to really come down anytime soon, employment comes down. You can raise people's wages, but you can't hire as many people because it's putting too much money into the economy in the United States, and it's causing inflation, which is nonsense, but that's where it's coming from.
It's obviously directly due to the economic downturn that Biden's policies triggered.
Oh, is it? What policy would that be? To respond to inflation?
And
by letting the Fed do what it wants?
now,
Which he has to do anyways?
Biden's friends in big media are getting walloped as well. Now, CNN, boo-hoo, has already axed a bunch of really talented folks. And this week, it was the Washington
You mean right-wingers?
Post. The Bezos-owned paper boasts the
Bezos, I think, bozo.
motto, democracy dies in the darkness. Don't you love that?
Yeah, I do actually. Democracy dies in cowardice. How is that? All right. Try harder.
But they might consider changing it to newspapers die in the Biden era.
Yeah, it's so true because newspapers have just been doing, they've gone from strength to strength in the last couple of decades, considering the digital move towards computers.
When Post publisher Fred Ryan met with his staff this week to announce that more layoffs were coming in the new year, things got very uncomfortable very quickly.
Wait, people don't respond well to not knowing if they'll have a job in a month?
With employees demanding answers about the future.
Weird.
Now, wait for the end of the video we're going to play. They should name this, well, maybe the fire and run move.
Brad, you talked about positions getting eliminated. What are you going to...
By the way, he was already leaving. And then somebody started asking questions. By the way, it's a room full of reporters.
do to protect people's jobs? Are they going to be treated like the magazine staffers were? Are you going to try and
We'll have more
prioritize?
information as we move forward. Thank you very much.
Is this still
He doesn't know.
You seem to be disrespecting this.
You seem to be disrespecting this room. No, I think the room's feelings were not hurt at all.
You are disrespecting this room.
You are disrespecting this room.
Well, a third of you are going to be fired. Bye. Happy New Year. Now, it's even uglier over at the home of our favorite globalist fat cats on Wall Street. Just today, Goldman's
Our favorite globalist fag. She means that, by the way. That's not a sarcastic phrase.
Sachs announced massive payroll cuts as well, up to 4,000 people. Reuters is...
For the record, somewhere in the order of $5 trillion worth of assets moves through Goldman Sachs's business every single day. Every day. 5 trillion every day.
Reporting that these layoffs are a sign that cuts are accelerating across Wall Street.
Yes, everyone is firing everybody they had on board for crypto. Everybody. Facebook, Wall Street, Goldman Sachs, doesn't matter. Anybody who was like your crypto wonderkin is getting handed a fucking, they're told to pick up their potted plant, put their shit in a box, and they'll be escorted out of the building. Everybody.
As deal making is drying up and investment banking revenues have plummeted. Now, let us never forget now.
By the way, considering what she normally says about Joe Biden, isn't investment bankers being fucked part of the promise that Biden made? Honest to God, if Biden fans are supposed to be upset because Goldman Sachs is laying people off, what?
It's Wall Street's money that put Joe Biden in office.
What?
It's media companies on the East and West Coasts that to this day protect Biden and his administration from scrutiny.
Oh yeah? What? How do they protect? Did they bought up your building and shut the lights off? Did they? They protect him from scrutiny? Do they?
All through this year, they actively helped the Biden team lie to the voters about the true state of our economy and what all Biden's spending and attacks on oil and gas would do to inflation.
By the way, a tax, not a tax. Just to clarify, yeah.
So these false prophets promised. They promised that inflation would be...
By the way, why is Powell a Biden prophet?
mild, even when the smartest Democrat economists warned otherwise.
Oh, so the smartest Democratic economists weren't running cover for Joe Biden? Gee whiz.
They promised that job markets were strong even as real wages were falling.
Real wages.
They promised that the economy...
By the way, it is. That's one of the reasons why the Fed is reacting the way it is. Because the job market is too strong to sustain and unsustainable in terms of import and export quality. That's it. And it isn't, by the way. But that's what the Fed thinks.
The economy was doing great, even as Americans were losing trillions in wealth.
And then getting it back, weirdly enough.
And they promised that Ukraine was winning, definitely winning.
Yeah, they are.
Even though Zelensky is demanding tens of billions of dollars, millions of dollars, plus pay
Is it billions or millions? It's an interesting little fix right there. What was that?
winning. Even though Zelensky is demanding tens of billions of dollars, millions of dollars, plus
Okay, millions, billions. What's the difference?
Plus
It's not like she's talking about economics or numbers or anything.
Patriot missiles. They promised crime would subside with community policing. And of
Did they?
course, it's worse than ever.
No, it isn't. It's actually been going down this year.
And yeah, they said the border was under control. And as we all know, it is a disaster.
No, we don't. And also, by the way, at the end of Title 42, one of the things that you're going to see, and it's going to be very difficult for Republicans to deal with, is there's going to be a drop-off in the number of people crossing. Because, thanks to Title 42 and Remain in Mexico, more people are trying multiple times to get across. There are fewer unique crossers than there were in 2018 or 2017. But there are more repeated crossers, which drives the numbers up for these assholes like Laura Ingram to say that there are millions of people that are coming across the border, when in fact they are not. Hundreds of thousands of people are trying 5 times. Once you get rid of Title 42 and Remain in Mexico, and you start processing some of these people, and a lot of them, by the way, the vast majority of them get put on a plane and flown back to their country, they don't try again immediately because see you tomorrow.
So what did all Biden...
By the way, and the Trump administration's policy was you find somebody, you just eject them immediately. They're just right there. He just ran across, and now he's right over there. Why is he not going to come back? Well, yeah, obviously not.
fans think would happen? For decades, cities like New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, they've been symbols of excellence. There were some of the smartest and most innovative American minds live and work.
And then Donald Trump became president.
But now these urban areas are symbols of American decline. So how much longer will people tolerate these results?
I don't know how long they'll tolerate
A
them.
lot of big tech and big media live in
Sorry, I didn't transfer over. Look at this. Elites look to transfer pain to you.
those cities.
Do they now? Because the elites look like they're providing homeless people with tents.
Well, Biden's business...
As opposed to just having them sleep on fucking benches with a blanket thrown over them if somebody feels good about it, like it's the 1970s.
Media allies continue with their charade until they're all broke? So as the elites start to suffer as they get a taste of their
When are we getting to the car shit? We're halfway through this.
own medicine, they wish to transfer that pain to you.
Ah. Yummy. Naughty. Is it spankings or a little pinching? What are we talking?
The Greeniacs are coming for the staples
The Greeniacs.
of American life, busily plotting away to take, I don't know, basic conveniences away from the
Yeah, they don't want life to be convenient for you. They want it to be hard. Oh my God.
rest of the country.
Yeah. Like, fuck you.
It began with food.
It did. It did. They're trying to take food away. That's what Democrats are known for. Weren't you guys complaining that Obama put a bunch of people on food stamps? It's kind of a shitty way to take food out of people's mouths.
During the 2020 presidential campaign, the effort to ban red meat became popular. Kamala Harris even voiced her support for the push. And the alternatives, well, truly horrifying.
Did she voice her support for the push? What? I mean, you have a little screen there. Play it.
Turns out that cows aren't necessarily the most efficient way of making beef.
Oh, right. And this is the lab-grown meat. That's real meat, by the way, for the record. That is not lab-grown meat. And if lab-grown meat looked like that already, yum.
You can print any structure that you're able to design. So you upload a file to the printer and you can present a steak of pretty much any size and also any proportions.
But it turns out people hate this.
Okay, first of all, fucko, not the same thing. This is so dumb. Okay, fake meat sales are now plunging because of high prices being too woke for consumers. They're talking about Beyond Meat, which is not the 3D printed meat he's talking about. That is a totally different technology. This is fucking stupid. The lab-grown meat, which is actual meat. It's real meat. It's not fake at all. It's just not grown on an animal. is wholly different than plant-based alternatives like Beyond Meat, you fucking moron. And yes, and by the way, I'm a big fan of the idea of lab-grown meat and the idea that you could raise the protein content on it, or you could actually infuse it with more vitamin content or any kinds of stuff like that. I believe the future is going to look totally different from how we used to eat, just like we don't fucking all slaughter a fucking woolly mammoth with spears.
Fake meat sales are now plunging because...
And by the way, again, what she was showing was, quote, real meat just grown in a lab, and fake meat, what they're calling fake meat on Yahoo News, is Beyond Meat or any of the kind of, like bean patty burgers.
Of high prices and being too woke for consumers. They also taste terrible. But they see another battlefront to expose.
All right, by the way, can I just say, before we move on to her weird thing about cars, that was just a well-encapsulated lie from Laura Ingram. Really simple, great example of what a shit TV presenter, I almost called her a journalist, but what a shit TV presenter she is, and how manipulative she is of her audience right here. This is, start off with the premise that they want to get rid of meat. Immediately show a video of a tech where they're creating lab-grown meat. Use a bait-and-switch article title about Beyond Meat, which is non-meat products. This is not even fake meat. This is vegetable products meant to look like meat. And just using the fake meat idea from the Yahoo article, which can be, it's just them playing with the language of it. And after showing that clip of the lab-grown meat, and then saying that this is, people don't want that shit and they taste terrible. She's never had lab-grown meat. Fuck off with this nonsense.
Your car. The left wants to move America from this.
Here's a couple of things America got right. Cars and freedom.
Pride, good friends, and simple, honest value. These are the things we know we can depend on.
Yeah. When is the 2000 SUX going to be made available?
And move us on to this.
There we are.
That's it.
And there's no sound or fume.
There is nothing.
So how do I know it's actually working?
It is.
If you think electric buses are cool, there's electric trucks, there's electric cars, everything is going electric.
Also, who gives a shit? You're not talking, that's not getting rid of the car if you change the fucking fuel source. Imagine her doing this about the shift from regular gas to unleaded.
It's so embarrassing.
Oh my God. Yes, your entire segment is embarrassing. I don't know what... taking your cars... Asshole, they're just selling you a car.
And they see this, by the way, as a battle that they can win. And a remarkable op-ed in the New York Times from yesterday.
Yes, that's because time moves forward. And more efficient and safer technologies will increase over time, and inefficient and shitty, polluting ones will diminish. What is this?
It explains how. Now, the thesis is quite simple. Cars are bad because their existence promotes racist tendencies. Yeah. And they lean too heavy into that whole freedom thing. No, seriously, this is how it begins. In American consumer lore, the automobile has always been a freedom machine, and liberty lies on the open road. During the Cold War...
Once you see the truth about cars, you can't unsee it. Andrew Ross... Okay, hold on. We got to look. Hold on 1 second.
He hates these cans!
Okay, hold on. Once you see the truth about cars... you can't unsee it. This is a guest essay in the opinion part of the New York Times. American consumer law has always been a freedom machine. Liberty's home of the road, blah, blah, blah. National Automobile Chamber of Commerce, Roy Chapman declared in 24, the automobile satisfies these instincts. But for many low-income and minority Americans, automobiles have been turbo-boosted engines of inequality, immobilizing their owners with debt, increasing their exposure to hostile law enforcement, and in general, accelerating the forces that drive apart haves and have-nots. Though progressive in intent, the Biden administration's signature legislation achievements on infrastructure and climate will further entrench the nation's staunch commitment to car production, ownership, and use. The recent Inflation Reduction Act offers subsidies for many kinds of vehicles using alternative fuel and should result in real reductions in emissions, but it includes essentially no direct incentive for public transit. By far the most effective means of decarbonizing transport, and without comprehensive policy efforts to eliminate the... Okay. This is people complaining about cars versus trains and buses. The Biden administration just put more investment in trains and public transport and in both bills than have ever been put in a single bill since we laid train tracks. Jesus. Again, it's a guest essay.
More vehicles rolled off the assembly line with Native American names like Pontiac, Apache, Dakota, Cherokee, Thunderbird, and Winnebago. The ultimate expressions of capitalist triumph and manifest destiny. But for many low-income and minority Americans, automobiles have been turbo-boosted in...
Oh yeah, is she reading this out of order? Hold on. There we go. Okay,
engines of inequality. God, the left really hates cars.
Do we? Then why is Kamala Harris trying to get people to get electric ones?
Bike lanes are everywhere. There's no parking in any city.
Look, I understand I deal with doom sprayers all the time, but this is like the lamest doom spraying I've ever seen.
High gas prices, no ownership, just rent for an hour or two, no freedom of movement.
Fucking Uber, right?
This is the globalist goal.
What? How can you can't bike to fucking Europe, dummy.
In the end, it's all
Can't drive there either, but you get my point.
about making you live with less, getting used to living with less.
Is it?
A new global order modeled around austerity.
Okay, so George Soros, super Jew, according to a lady who just accidentally gave a Hitler salute at the RNC when she was just waving in a flat... I'm not even going to imitate it. You're not going to make me imitate it. Well, here, I'll just show you. This lady... So this lady is concerned that the globalists are going to keep you from having a car because they want to control your every move. It's almost as like they're not satisfied running banking and entertainment.
Now they're going to tell you it's better for you and your life and your mental health. Remember how...
And when you feel better and the air is cleaner, you might start to think that. But don't be fooled. Coughing is good.
how clean the air was during the pandemic when everyone was stuck at home? Living less is good for the soul, they'll say. But the truth of the matter
if it doesn't spark joy, it's bad.
Is innovation has made the world better and healthier. Any turn away from that is a turn away from advancement. And that's the angle.
Hey, Sean Wait, what? What do you mean?
Is innovation. Living less is good for the soul, they'll say. But
they will?
The truth of the matter is innovation has made the world better and healthier.
Hey, dumb fuck! That's what's happening! Are you fucking kidding me? Where do you think electric cars and electric buses, that is innovation? What? How did that become the fucking tail end of this? Oh my God.
Any turn away from that is a turn away from advancement.
Hey, asshat, you're telling people to turn away. What the fuck? Can we look at her fucking ads? Hold on, where is it? Where is it? It's gotta be here. I'm gonna take away this, where is it? Yeah, is it here? Yeah. Miss Advancement wants to run these ads by you.
Here's a couple of things America got right. Cars and freedom.
Pride, good friends, and simple, honest value. These are the things we know we can.
I don't want to upset you, Laura Ingraham, but that's not the most advanced car in American history. Not even not even close. I don't. The weird thing is Pam in our chat is saying conservative equals don't trust anything new, but her argument is that advancement is and innovation are intersect entirely, and you can't have one without the other, and that the left somehow, by wanting you to drive an electric car or have an electric vehicle with a big range and like that's solar powered, which, by the way, again, for the fucking record, no matter who you are, unless you're a chemical engineer, and you want to do some sort of own version of like oil Breaking Bad in your goddamn yard, if you found oil in your yard, you still wouldn't be able to like convert it into a high octane fuel and put it in your car just like free of charge, unless you're out in the middle of fucking nowhere. But you can put solar panels on your fucking house and you generate energy all the goddamn time.
Now they're going to tell you it's better for you and your life and your mental health. Remember how clean the air was during the pandemic when everyone was stuck at home?
Yes.
Living less is good for the soul, they'll say.
No, living with less can be good for the soul, according to that lady who says everything should spark joy. What's her name again? I try to spark joy. Yeah. There we go. Hold on. Whoops. Rule 6 of tidying. I'm going to accept the cookies. Ask yourself if it sparks joy. Hey, hi, you're watching How Sparks Mega Worldwide. If my show sparks joy, then please think about subscribing. Give a thumbs up, support the show, become a Patreon subscriber. And I hope I will survive spring cleaning and spark joy as much as I can. Only you can know what kind of environment makes you happy. This is the underlying principle of the KonMari method. It also, KonMari, I guess. It's also what sets it apart from other tidying techniques that rely on strict guidelines instead of personal criteria. You probably heard discard anything you haven't used in 2 years, or every time you buy something new, get rid of something. But Marie's method is different. Yeah. There she is. It's not minimalism. It's just you want stuff around that makes you happy. There you go. Fuckers. She's that commie monster.
But the truth of the matter is, innovation has made the world better and healthier.
Right. Like solar panels. Fuck me, this is dumb.
Any turn away from that is a turn away from advancement.
Great. So, just for the record, in case you were ever wondering, Laura Ingram wants to take the whole country backwards to the 1800s, I guess.
And that's the angle.
Hey, you're an idiot. That is one of the stupidest segments we've ever seen from her. I have to say, I'm almost impressed. That was Bongholio level bullshit. Yeah, like electricity and plumbing. Exactly.